Sorry, y'all. My bad. What's up, y'all? We back like we never left. We're gonna knock out these two, this Love and Marriage Huntsville, and we just did Married to Medicine. So come on in. If you came back, thank you. If you're new here, go check out Married to Medicine when we get done here. Listen, let me say this. Love and Marriage Huntsville. So we picked up where we left off with this damn conversation between Tisha, Kimmy, and Destiny. And I am so irritated with Tisha. I don't know what to do with myself. She is an irritating woman. She is an irritating woman. You talking about, I don't know what you said, but I know how it made me feel. That's fine. You don't always remember the exact words that somebody used, but you know you do remember how those words made you feel. That's fine. My problem with you, though, Miss Tisha, my issue is she apologized. I don't know what more you want from this woman. See, that's where my issue is. What more do you want from this woman? The woman apologized. She's apologized multiple times. I don't know what you want. Well, actually, I do know what you want, because Kimmy said it later on in this episode. Kimmy said Tisha wants loyalty, and she really doesn't want you to be friends with people that she's not cool with or people that aren't cool with her. And ultimately, that's what she wants. She wants Destiny to say, no, I don't like Nell, and I'm never going to hang out with Nell again, and I'm never going to speak to Nell again, and Nell is just a horrible person. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. But that's not what she's going to get, because that's not the reality of the situation. It was a frustrating conversation to have. I cannot have a conversation with somebody that, even when I apologize, it's not good enough. I don't know what else to do with that. Then Kimmy was like, okay, well, are we going to move on? Because Kimmy was getting ready to get bucked too. But when Kimmy was like, she was like, so have you told Nell that what she says ain't cool? Have you talked to Nell? And Destiny was like, yes, I told her. Kimmy was like, all right, cool. Well, if you let her know it ain't cool, and you know, you're not just coming at us with it, if you giving it both ways, then I'm cool with that. Now, do I think Kimmy meant it? I don't really think Kimmy meant it, but Kimmy didn't harp on it. She let it go. So then they were like, Tisha, are we good? Are we moving on? We good? Yeah, we good. Yeah, I'm over it. Girl, you're clearly not over it. So Destiny was like, but are you sure? Are you sure you sure? Are you sure that you're over it? Are you positive that you are over it? She gonna say, I just know what box to put everybody in. So Destiny gonna say, well, what box you gonna put me in? Don't trust that hoe. I didn't think that was funny. I didn't think it was a joke. So then they change the subject, and Destiny talks to them about finding her siblings and going to Detroit to meet all of her siblings and meet up with her mom, and have all of them meet up with her mom. Tisha gonna say, well, if you need some emotional support, we can come. Bitch, what? If you need some emotional support, girl, you just said that you didn't put me in the box of don't trust that hoe. But you ready to go on a road trip with me? Tisha, you are insufferable. Hey, Chucky Chuck. I'm glad you home safely. Now they caught, listen, not that I'm complaining, but it was pouring down raining for about 15, maybe about 10, 15 minutes, and then it stopped. And now it's clear. I don't know if this is the clear before the storm or what, but knock on wood, it's clear over here. I don't want no tornado to come through here, but that's what we on. We on tornado watch. Anyway. Baby, didn't Marceau do it? We're going to get to Marceau, baby, because, baby, and I know a lot of people don't like Marceau, but I love Marceau. It's snowing. It's snowing in Indianapolis. Wow. Well, Indiana. You're not in Indianapolis. Okay. So then we see Nell, another miserable person who I can't stand. And when I say I can't stand, I don't mean personally because I don't know that woman personally. I mean on the show. She goes in and she doesn't have a a program manager. So she done hired her daughter. Now, mind you, she said this the only one, this the only person I can depend on. This is the only one of my kids that I can depend on. So mind you, it's raining in Rockville. Okay, so maybe it's just in drops. Because I just got an alert where it's flooding near American Legion Bridge. So I guess it's coming in spurts. So you say that's the only one of your kids that you can trust. So then you proceed to talk to your daughter about everybody else. I'm mad at your father because he's so laid back, and I'm really pissed off at Lance, and I'm really like, so you're going to sit there and talk to your daughter about the rest of the family? That's not healthy. Because again, what is she supposed to do with that? That's her daddy. Those are her brothers. Oh, Baltimore had heavy rains and high winds, but it's quiet at the moment. Okay. Well, I don't want it to come this way, so let me shut up then. Let me not complain. Let me just shut up then. I don't have nothing to say. And it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, it's dark. Okay, sure. Then let me shut up because you ain't that far from me. Let me shut up then. I'm shutting up. I ain't saying nothing else. And it's just frustrating to me because I'm like, Nell, you are a miserable person. I wanted to wash some clothes. Y'all think it's safe for me to run my washing machine, or should I not do it today? You think I should put some clothes in a washing machine, or should I not do it? Nell need to go see Dr. Francis. They tried to get Nell to see Dr. Francis. They tried to get her to see, and she said she wouldn't do it by herself, and they did it as a group. But then when Dr. Francis tried to tell her by herself, she ran out of there and told him he didn't know what he was talking about. Yeah. People like Nell, it would be hard to get therapy because she don't want to listen to nobody. She doesn't want to hear any criticism. Not Nell needs Jesus. It's getting dark in the Navy. Okay, let me shut up now. Wait till tomorrow. Okay. So next, so after that, we see where Destiny meeting up with Letitia. I'm gonna be honest, they could have kept this scene. There was absolutely nothing in this scene that we need because Trish. I'm sorry, not Trish. There was nothing in this scene that we needed because Trish is gonna ride the fence. She gonna say, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I gotta tell it there. Oh no, you mean Kimmy and Letitia?" So then she gonna say, "Well, I don't think that Kimmy and Letitia said that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think." Girl, they could have kept that scene. That was a waste. Get her off the show. Bye and bye again. So then we see Tisha talking to Marceau. And she's explaining to Marceau the conversation she had with Destiny. And Marceau is like, well, what has Destiny done? Like, Destiny hasn't done anything but show you that she's solid. Like, what is it what's the issue? And so we see her, no, first, and this is another thing, Tisha, you be lying. You be lying, Tisha, because first we saw her meeting with the other brokers and they're trying to sell this house. And this how I know how petty you are. And this how I know how thin-skinned you are. You said, baby, all these laws, Letitia, Latricia, Latrice, all these laws down south. Damn, y'all don't know no other names down south, but la 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 means I love you. Baby, that's why they got all them laws. Anyway, you was talking to Marceau and you said Kimmy was upset because, she was like, dang, you didn't, I'm a realtor. You didn't reach out to me. And she was like, well, I told Kimmy that she should get her broker's license and then we can open up our own brokerage. But Kimmy didn't want to do that. And then next thing I know, she got her broker's license. So I just took that to mean she didn't want to work with me. So because she didn't want to go into business with you and open up a brokerage firm, that means that she wasn't that you gonna cut her out of every deal you're a part of. To me, that was petty. And then You lied because the story you told Kimmy was, well, because I have people that are basically working for me, doing a lot of the leg work, and I know you didn't want to do all that leg work. You didn't tell, like, the way you worded it to Kimmy was basically like, oh, well, I knew that this sale was kind of beneath what you do. Like, you kind of do stuff up here. And I needed somebody that was down here to do a lot of the leg work and a lot of the grunt work that I didn't want to do. That's not how you worded it to Marceau. You worded it to Marceau as if, well, she said that I took it as she didn't want to work with me, so that's why I didn't ask her if she wanted to be a part of this sale, to be on the team to sell this house. That's that petty shit. That's you going back to being petty. That's petty. That's petty. Because now we're talking about money. Now you playing games with people's money. I have a Lakeisha in North Carolina. If anything pop off with my sister, she called me, child. Listen, I know I got a Lakeisha in North Carolina too. So she be in the chat sometimes. Sometimes she drop down in the chat. But so I was like, Letitia, you're not telling it. You're not telling the story to Marceau the same way you told the story to Kimmy, but it's whatever. So then you are telling Marceau about the conversation with Destiny, and then you end it with you talking about, yeah, because I told her, I couldn't trust that hoe. And Marceau was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, what you mean? He was like, were you playing or were you serious? And she was like, I mean, I don't know. And like the look on Marceau's face, was like he was so confused. He was looking at her like, what you mean? Like, either you trust her or you don't. So then she says, well, then after we cleared that up, she was saying that she's gonna, meet her family up in Detroit. And I told her that, we could go and be an emotional support for her. And he was like, I'm sorry, what? He was like, so wait a minute, let me get this straight. You agreed to go on a road trip with somebody that you just called a hoe, and you said you don't trust. He was like, that don't make no sense to me. Like, make it make sense to me. And you're right. She changed her tune when she saw his face. CC Chair said she was kidding when she saw his face of disappointment. Right. When she saw the look on his face, then all of a sudden she was joking. Girl, you weren't joking. You meant that. You were dead ass. And you meant what you said. You don't trust Destiny. Why? Because Destiny won't acquiesce to what you want her to do. Now, we could say a lot of things about Destiny, but Destiny's not going to acquiesce to you. She didn't do it to Melody, and I know a lot of people feel how they feel about her and Melody's relationship, but she didn't do it to Melody. She's not going to do it to you. That's just not, she's not. She's going to move how she want to move. She's going to be friends with who she want to be friends with. She cool with who she cool with. That's it. That's all. Tisha is her mother's child. There you go. You right. So then we see Kimmy and Maurice talking, and it's basically the same damn conversation. Kimmy is just telling Maurice her side of how everything went down with Destiny and the trip to Detroit and Tisha and Destiny. And again, in my opinion, it was pretty much the same damn conversation. I don't remember anything standing out from that conversation that will make me be like, oh yeah, I gotta, whatever. Then we get the three Scott brothers having a conversation. We have Marceau, we have Maurice, and then we have their brother. I forget their brother's name, but he's actually getting ready to take the bar as well. He's becoming an attorney. Sounds like he's finished with law school because he's just studying for the bar. And cool, great, love to see it. Black excellence. Then Maurice starts talking to them about what Kimmy said about him, Micah, thank you, about him being sexy to her, hammering nails, putting up sheetrock. It really irritates me when I feel like people take this much of what somebody says and turns it into this. You and Kimmy were having a conversation about sex and the frequency of sex and how often he wants sex versus her. And what he said to her was, well, when we first started dating, it wasn't a problem. When we first started dating, you was down for it. Like, you was cool to have sex 2 or 3 times a day too. I'm trying to understand what changed, because because he hasn't changed, whereas she has. And she was giving him an example of where they were when they first started dating versus where they are now. And one of the examples that she gave him was, well, a lot of times when we were doing that, we were in your investment property and I was watching you sweat and that was turning me on. And I was watching you, do some manual labor and that was turning me on. So a lot of times we had sex was because I got turned on and we ended up having sex in those situations. She didn't say she's no longer sexually attracted to you. She didn't say that you had to quit being an attorney and go back to hanging sheetrock in order for her to have sex with you. What she said was, you can't compare where we are as a couple now to where we were as a couple then, because there were different factors. Now, do I think that occasionally she would love to see Maurice sweat a little bit and maybe do something around the house and repair something and climb up on a ladder? I'm sure that would turn her on, because that turns her on. But I didn't. Now, maybe I'm wrong, y'all, but I didn't walk away from that thinking, oh, she wants him to quit being an attorney and go back to hanging sheetrock so she can find him sexy again. That is not what I took from that conversation. And Maurice, you're being ridiculous, because that's not what that woman told you. Now, Marceau was like, yeah, that's what she wants you to do. Michael was like, no, that's not what she wants. She doesn't want that. Now, the one thing that Marceau said at the end of this conversation that I can agree with, the one thing that we can all walk away with is they don't know what women want. I think we can all agree that they don't know what women want. Exactly. Micah absolutely understood what Kimmy was saying. Absolutely. And also understand, Kimmy is an older woman. Kimmy has gone through chemo. Kimmy has gone through, if she's not menopausal, she's probably perimenopausal, just like the rest of our asses. And all of that changes so much. It changes everything. Well, if Kimmy would just say what she really means, I think Kimmy said what she really means. I think Maurice took it and ran in the opposite direction. I think Kimmy was very clear in what she was saying, in my opinion. I believe Micah is married, but don't quote me on that, child. I don't know. I can't keep up with none of these. I think Micah is married, though. I think that, first of all, I think that conversation we saw was edited. So I don't think that it made sense because we saw bits and pieces of a longer conversation. But I also feel like Kimmy is very clear in what she's saying. At Kimmy's age, chemo put her at menopause if she wasn't already right. And all of that changes. The menopause changes all of these things. I can't listen. If you're not a man, or if you're a young woman and you're not there yet, baby, I cannot explain to you how much this perimenopause and this menopause affects you. And it's not just sexual, it's just all of the things. But sex drive is definitely part of it. And I don't know. I just think when it comes to this, Maurice is just an ass, in my opinion. When it comes to the sex thing and listening to his wife and understanding, I think he is just an ass, and I think he hears what he wants to hear because it defends his stance. That's my opinion. Baby, don't it, Renee? Ooh, Lord, don't it? And I'm doing all the things, y'all. I'm taking the magnesium and I'm doing all of the things. And it's helping. Don't get me wrong. The vitamins and the magnesium, it helps. But life is just life. Your body just does what the body does. You know? Tish and Ken, go to see Dr. Francis. This is what I'm going to say. I can agree with that. That part of what's going on with Ms. Nell might be menopause. I can see that. Let me say this, y'all. Both of them wear me out because I think both of them were telling some truths and both of them were telling some lies. I do think that Ken is jealous, and I do think that Ken be clocking her and be like, where are you? What was that noise in the background? Who you with? I believe that because he doesn't trust her. I believe he does that. But I also believe that you have given him reasons not to trust you. I also believe that you got this whole husband over here that for whatever reason you ain't divorced. I also believe that he does affect your mood when I'm talking about the husband, I'm talking about her husband, not Ken. So the things that y'all brought up, I think both of y'all are telling the truth, but I think both of y'all are not being honest about what the other person is doing, which is part of the problem. Because for me, it's always an indication when two people are talking and you keep talking over me and you don't want me to talk. Because every time Ken started talking, she would start talking over him and cut him off, which made me think that what he was saying was true and she didn't want it to be said. That's what I heard. Because you kept talking, you kept cutting that man off and you kept talking over that man, which makes me think you didn't want us to hear that. Candace, what'd you say? You said, I promise, guys, I'm not this needle. I think you meant to say something else. Hold on, let me scroll up. Hold on, let me scroll up. What'd you say, Kenneth? Did I miss something? Tracy, are you here? Tracy didn't drop down. What's going on, babe? Just tell me what you need. Cajun can help you too. Cajun got Royal Caribbean on speed dial. Cajun can help you out too. Right, I think that's what he meant to say. Oh no, there go Tracy. Tracy's here. Tracy's here. So whatever you need, Candace, Tracy and Cajun can help you out. Kimmy about 5670 Wanda. Wanda is 5960. Isn't Kimmy? Oh, I don't think Kimmy's that old, but I think Kimmy is in her 50s though. I think she's in her late 40s, early 50s. I think Kimmy is already in her 50s though. Cajun's coming, child. Cajun is absolutely on that ship. Cajun was one of the first people to book. Absolutely, Cajun's gonna be there. Cajun is in the junior suite. That's why I said I know you can get a junior suite because Cajun is in the junior suite. But I honestly feel like, for me, I honestly feel like neither one of y'all are listening to the other person. And until y'all start listening to each other, you can't help if I'm not listening to what you're saying and you're not listening to what I'm saying, how do we get to that next part? How do we move forward? Because nobody's listening. Nobody's listening to the other person. How do we get to that next part? And I feel like what Dr. Francis was trying to say when Ken was saying, this makes me angry when you do this, and she was trying to tell him that it didn't make him angry. How can you tell somebody what makes them angry? You can't tell me what makes me angry. You can say, I don't mean to make you angry. You can say, I don't think that should make you angry, but you can't tell me what's making me mad. You can't tell me what I'm getting upset about. I think their relationship was like this before the show. I think the show is just putting a spotlight on what was already there. I feel like they were dysfunctional before that. Break up to make up. I think they would break up to make up before this. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. The group, you need the group. Okay. The group number, you ready, Kenneth? I can give it to you real quick. Hold on. It's 99. I almost had that thing memorized. It's 9923946. Shut up, Cajun. 9923946. I just put it in the chat. Okay. I'm almost done. You shut up, Cajun. You shut up. Anyway. Who that Cajun? Ooh, he know I'm gonna knock him out. Anyway, but I really just feel like the two of them, I think they've already had these issues. I think these issues, People Magazine said Kimmy was 34 in 2023. Okay, so then she's not even in her 40s yet. I thought Kimmy was in her 40s. Because remember they, wow, okay. Well, People Magazine said it. I mean, okay. So that was 3 years ago. So she's 37. I thought she was in her 40s. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Ken is insecure about his relationship with Trish. It's becoming how you get him is how you lose him. Well, hold on. Let me ask Google. I don't know if they're going to have that answer, but let me ask. Let me see. How old is Kimmy Scott from Love and Marriage? Lord, my fat fingers. Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Let me see what the internet tell me. Let me see what AI is telling me. No, they're going by what they're saying, 34 years old as of 2023. So they must be getting that from People Magazine. Yeah. That's what they're saying. Then how old was Melody when the show started? Because remember Melody was shading her. She used to run a catering service. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they saying. But I think she older than that. Because how old was Melody when the show started? Because remember they were talking about... Remember Melody was shading Kimmy on how old she was? Yeah, because Jalen is grown. No, that can't be right. That can't... Yeah, because Mel is 40 and Kimmy is older than Mel. No, I don't know what People Magazine got that from. Kimmy is older than Melody. Ain't no way in the world. If Melody is 40, Kimmy is older than Mel. Right, because her son is in his 20s. He graduated from college like 2-3 years ago. Her son is in his 20s. Ain't no way in the world she 36, 37, and she got a son that's 20 something and she was grown when she had him. No, that ain't right. That can't be right. Yeah, I don't know. That don't make sense. Yeah, because Maurice and Kimmy is older than Maurice. Hold on, let me ask. Let's ask how old Maurice Scott is, because Kimmy's older than Maurice. Let me see. How old is Maurice Reese Scott from Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Let me see. They said Maurice Scott is 41 years old. Ain't no way in hell Kimmy is older than Maurice. They said that Maurice Scott is currently 41 years old. He was born November 11th of 1981. Yeah, Kimmy's older than Maurice. We know that. We know that's a fact. Yeah, that's not right. Yeah. Kimmy is older than Melody. Because remember when Love and Marriage Huntsville started, Kimmy was the oldest one. Kimmy's older than all of them. And Jalen is 27. Ain't no child. Bye. People Magazine do better. People Magazine do better. See, that's why you can't believe everything on the internet. That's why you got it. But because when that go back to season 1, Melody used to shade Kimmy about her age all the time. Melody used to make shady jokes about Kimmy's age all the time. Kimmy was the oldest one on this show. She was older than all of them. Go back to season 1. Ravine said Maurice is 48. He was born in 1978. Then Kimmy is in her 50s. Kimmy is in her 50s. If Maurice is 48, because Kimmy is like 5 years older than Maurice. Because that was, again, go back to season 1. They talked about it. They made a big deal about Kimmy's age. That was a thing in season 1. See, I've been watching this since season 1. Everybody ain't been watching this since season 1. I've been watching it from the beginning. And Melody used to shade the hell out of Kimmy in her age all the time. And Kimmy said last season she's almost as old as now. Yeah. Anyway, child, we ain't gonna do this too much longer. Kenneth, if you are still here and you need my help, hit me up on Instagram. I saw Tracy gave you her Instagram. If you need me, let me know. I'm going to get off of here. El Teddy will be live at 5. Y'all don't forget the event in July. If you weren't in my last live, I'm just going to real quick. If you weren't in my last live, I'm going to just put it up here because somebody might see this in the replay, even though they probably ain't staying on this long, child, because we. But we are having an event July the 18th. Myself, Shade in the City, will be hosting author Didi Pecchioni Cummings. She's one of my Bennett sisters. She is an author. She is a therapist by trade. And she has written a book, How to Dream. And the book was written out of the despair of her clients after the election and just dealing in the world, the current state of things, and just helping people move past that and getting back to their dreams and how to make those dreams happen. So she'll be having a session with us on July the 18th. The event will be taking place in Bowie at M Lounge Studios in Bowie, Maryland. The event will include a selfie station where you can take as many pictures. There are over 40 different backdrops for the selfie station. We will have food there, and Cajun got you cool. We will have food there, and you will also get an autographed copy of the book. So the tickets are on sale. We have VIP, we have general seating, and we have early bird for general seating. The general seating guarantees you a seat. The VIP guarantees you there's going to be a long table where we will be doing the session. So the VIP guarantees you a seat at the table. And of course, those are limited seats. And then general seating guarantees you a seat. So with that being said, and that's the link for the tickets to buy you a ticket. And yes, the star, and I got to talk to you, Don. Text me your number because text me your number because I'm gonna call you because I do want to buy my ticket this week. With that being said, you guys, I'm about to get out of here. El Teddy will be live at 5. He's got some updates and things to share with you guys. And then I may or may not be back later on today. I don't really have a lot to talk about other than the Oscars, which were great. I didn't watch them, but of course I woke up this morning to all that melanin on my timeline and I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. But other than that, I really don't have no whole lot to talk about. So I may not come back tonight. But I will talk to y'all later. Peace. Thank you, Ravine. Thank you, Boo.